Hello, one and all. This is Luckless Lovelocks. Welcome back to 999. And of course, we have another room to escape from. So let's take a look around, see if what we can find. Hey, is that a boiler over there? Who knows? The pipe goes up into the ceiling. Maybe, just maybe, we could climb into that pipe and get out of there. It's an interesting thought. Idiot. How the hell are you supposed to get into a pipe that size? Well, you know, maybe not me. Santa, you're pretty small though. Well, at least he kind of got my joke. Oh, I see. That makes me kind of happy. Just joking. Maybe we could use this rolling pin to bash the doors down. Countertop. We've got a rolling pin and a colander. Nothing useful, in other words. Let's not be so hasty. Could be something. We learned about hex and these plates. I'm sure that's going to play a part later on. Check these doors. Hey, Santa. Could you open that door, please? What the hell? There's no way I can open that thing. I guess you're getting to that age where your eyes start to go, huh? You better watch your mouth, boy, or someone won't live long enough to see that door opened. Yikes. This has got the two of them on edge. Let's not talk about the door. Gotta get out of here, and fast. It's true. What about this door? That's the exit, right? There's a big old iron plate over the door. I don't think we can open it. You think so? Okay, so there's lights. There's a light hanging from the ceiling. And what else is there? There's this, I don't know. This might be like a fridge? Ah, can't click on it. I think that's all for this point of view. Let's check over here. Wow. This pot looks like it's made out of silver. I bet drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. Spending a day off with June, drinking tea. Could such a day ever happen for me? Jumpy? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should just be moving on. It's like a bulletin board. It's a lot of notes. They've got a bunch of stuff written on them, but it doesn't look like a code or anything like that. Okay. Wow, Jumpy, can you reach really high? Well, they don't call me Jumpy for nothing. Hey, yeah, I can jump pretty high. Here we go. That's it. Okay, before we check out that door, wait, what's the, I'm kind of losing my point of view here. That's it. Oh, interesting. Is this where we came in? How do I check the map again? Oops. No, we don't need that. So files. I can't remember how you check the map. There we go. You just select it, Luckless. Okay, so I think when we turn, like we're facing this direction, right? When we turn this way, it feels like we're looking more like over here. I guess we could see our point of view when we turn. Let's just click on the door. Ah, a walk-in. No, this is like a storage room. I was gonna say walk-in fridge, but it looks more like a storage room. This shelf has a white cloth on it. Can we remove the cloth? We can. There's so much stuff in here. A whole lot of cans. This is probably a pantry. What's that? Ah, here we go. Looks like a rusty knife.
A rusty knife? I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this.
The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much use the way it was.
It's futile.
Futile?
You know, a waste, useless, pointless.
Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up?
What's useless?
Oh, no reason really.
Oh, she's talking about the knife.
I was just thinking about futility.
This is really interesting. These little asides, they kind of tell us about the characters, but I think there might be something else to them, and I'm not sure what it is yet. And it might become clear as I do like multiple playthroughs, what this all means. But I feel like there's some like subtle meaning behind some of these little asides.
Huh?
Just doesn't make sense to me yet. She wasn't making much sense. Me and Junpei are on the same page. Junpei tried rephrasing his question.
Why were you thinking about futility?
At last, she answered.
Well, it has something to do with the Titanic.
Ah, okay.
The Titanic?
Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
Here we go. I personally haven't. I don't know if I should be speaking for Junpei, but I haven't heard it, but I would like to hear it.
No, I haven't. What is it?
In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank.
Every time I see these numbers, I'm like, what's the digital root of the number? Just because I feel like there's some secret meaning to these asides.
A novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson.
Also, I don't know how true these are. For the most part, they seem like fantasy.
The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't be any reason to mention it.
I was gonna say, that could be a common fear in those times, right? Or in modern times too.
It wasn't, though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats.
Nah.
Even the location of the accident itself, and the cause, and the location of the damage.
Nah.
Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank.
It's the psychic field telling him, traveling back in time to tell him.
But that's not all. It wasn't just futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892.
All these dates, all these numbers. Just trying to think, what's the digital root of 1886? So it's 8 plus 8 is 16. So then 1 plus 6 is 7. I don't know if I could do it this way. 1 plus 6 is 7, and then plus 1 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. That would give us 5. And then 1892 is what? 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Add those together, you get 9. Plus, oh, I could, what am I doing? I could use the calculator if I really want to. They're not the same though. If I'm doing it correctly. I don't know if you could do it that way mathematically.
Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided. Many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships.
Right, I knew you'd say that. But what if Stead had some sort of special powers?
June knows a lot about the Titanic sinking as well.
to be more specific? What if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
Here we go again. Automatic writing. Another crazy theory.
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about when someone's possessed by a spirit and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing?
Yes.
Well then, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull.
But Jumpy, you said you believe in curses.
Shit. She's got us there.
Come on, that's totally different. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff?
Good point. Spirits could travel back in time, though. They're timeless.
That's not it.
What's not it?
Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit.
Stead possessed someone?
He was doing the possessing.
What?
Oh. What are you smoking?
William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic.
Oh my god.
He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes 20 years before it happened.
He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. He tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad.
Well,
La da da da. Junpei smiled uncomfortably.
Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay?
Huh? But...
Her voice trailed off, and she glanced at the floor, troubled.
Come on, let's get back to it.
Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. It's kind of cold, isn't it? We're really in trouble. I know I'm just repeating myself, but this is really a futility moment. That blade is so rusty. Yeah, I know. I can't cut a damn thing with a knife like this. If we're gonna cut anything, we probably have to sharpen the knife. Figured. Cheese. What's that behind this one? Cheese. It looks like there's a bottle. Hey! There's something behind the cheese. Always something behind the cheese. I don't know what that means. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? I don't know why that's so funny to me. Alright guys, time to move it. Jude and I need to look behind you. There's a little green bottle back there. Bottle of oil. Oh look, cooking oil. You could probably use this to make something slippery. I assume that's not gonna remove the rust. Okay. There are a number of cheeses lined up on the shelf. This is Gouda cheese. The most famous Dutch cheese. If you don't cut open the casing, it usually won't go bad. So you can store it at room temperature for quite a while. So we can eat this. Most likely. I'm not hungry at all. Guess it's hard to get hungry in a situation like this. Guess that's it. Maybe we have to cut into the cheese or something like that at some point. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel? Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Maybe we shouldn't open it up. I don't think it'd be a pretty sight. Okay. Is that it then? Like that's everything in here. Check these plates out. Maybe this table is for preparing food. There are plates everywhere. Trash can. There's nothing inside of it. Well, better than being full of rotten food, I suppose. True. Damn it, there's nothing in here. Hey Santa, digging through the trash really suits you. Hey! What the hell did you say? Listen, lady, I did you a favor. I knew you'd just piss and moan, so I did it for you. Oh my. I don't recall asking you to do anything. I had to throttle you. Excuse me? A baking powder? Does it feel colder in here? These two are kind of like, they seem to get each other, but not really. Nothing special about these. It's hard to tell like what's important and what's not important. All right, it's going. Do you think this wall, this was all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kind of hard to believe there's a chef on board somewhere. Open this up. I wonder what this drawer is. You see the metal grate on top of the grill? They make it like that so that the fat and juices can drip off of the meat while it cooks. So this is to collect the fat. It looks like the area under the plate opens up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. I think that's where the coal goes. Okay. It's a grill. There's some coals down here. They're bright red. Got a grill. We check this thing. Okay. Is that everything on this side? What's this? Wow, what a nice dish rack. I'd love to have that in my kitchen. Why don't you take it back with you? Are you offering to carry it for me? Why don't you ask Seven? You're kidding. You don't honestly think I'd let a beast like that into my home, do you? Whoa! Strong words. Ah, there's a code box here. So this is locked. An iron oven. Looks pretty heavy duty. It's probably industrial quality. I bet you could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn, I knew it. It's locked. How many numbers is this? This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Hey, Junpei, why don't you try entering the numbers we found on the voucher earlier? The one that said appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F. Okay, so 9:10 a.m. Yes. Convert the 10, A, and F to base 10. Yeah, I was gonna say, well, it's worth a shot. No dice. Looks like that's too many numbers. What if we, yeah, I was gonna say maybe we could put the other numbers, the actual number of plates, but that was 9, 16, 10, 15. That's still gonna be too many numbers. Oh, okay, well, I don't know what the solution is to that yet. All we've got here is a pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. Well, I guess we could use some of those as weapons. What kind of an idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? Seriously. There's some bottles of seasoning in here. There's a pot on top of the stove. If there are some ingredients around here, I could cook something up for us. Lotus, you can actually cook? I got that impression that she knew her way around the kitchen. Who the hell do you think I am? You better believe I know how to boil hot water and put in my instant noodles. Okay, maybe I was wrong. She just goes at a lot, I guess. And I can boil eggs too. All right, not bad. So that's where we came in. This is the grill. Oven. Let's check the door. It's a card reader. Since the light's red, I figure it's probably still locked. The key card for it's gotta be around here somewhere. I'm just gonna find it. Double check. Didn't work. That's what I thought. Doesn't matter how many times you try it. This door isn't going to open until we've solved all the puzzles in this room. I'm sure this is all just part of Zero's plan. Just can't imagine what his motives could be. Oh, yeah. I wanted to go back. That's it? Oh, what about this door? A door. There's a bolt, okay. There's a bolt keeping us from opening it. It's a bolt. And it's really rusty. Will this even open? We won't know until we try. Let's give it a shot. All right, let's see if you're gonna come out. Damn, no dice. Maybe the oil? This bolt is rusted in place. It won't budge. Of course. Maybe if I put some oil on it. Yes. Hey. Just a little bit of oil and... Come on. Come on, you little son of a bitch. Whoa. Ah, yes. Got you, you little bastard. You did it, Jumpy. You're so smart. She's right, she's right. Oh. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat.
Oh, it's cold in here. What is this place? Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Do we have to like go all the way in to look inside? Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in an even worse situation.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me.
Yeah, she's wearing even less.
I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in.
Oh,
She's
whoa.
a bit better dressed
It's really cold in here.
for this situation. White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver.
Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But
Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth.
Huh?
Oh no. What? When the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they had only recently come through was closed. Oh my god. Junpei rushed to the door.
no! Why did it suddenly close?
Looks like it's probably frozen shut. Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob.
Ah!
It was cold beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful.
The knob's frozen.
But why?
They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door
Looks like the
had
pipe
ruptured.
next to it broke, and
Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door.
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
She wasted no time in responding.
What do you want? What's going on?
What?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. If you say so. Hold on.
Soon, they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased, and they could hear light panting as if from exertion.
It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
Oh.
God damn it.
Grunting's not gonna get us out of here. Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies.
Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
No kidding!
Two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
We got 3 heads though.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
Right.
They pushed in close to one another and began to search. Alright, we gotta do this fast. Dry ice. Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? Explode. Yeah, didn't you do that in school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. Oh, I never do. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeves so as to avoid burning himself.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Are we gonna get another science lesson here?
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
Blow the door open, maybe? They were about to move on when June spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees.
Okay.
Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
109 degrees. Maybe we can control the temperature in here somehow. Okay, so any warmer, turn to gas. Warmer than 109. Junpei looked at her dumbfounded.
Oh, how do you know that?
Despite my looks, I'm the queen of random knowledge.
The queen of random knowledge?
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yeah, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you?
June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around. Junpei told himself.
Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei. Can we get out of the freezer? Talk about it later? His patience was wearing thin.
How the hell would I know? And how the hell is that going to help us get out of here? We don't have time for this crap.
But it can turn into a liquid.
Oh, okay. Junpei stopped mid-sentence, surprised by June's interjection.
Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure.
Okay, high pressure liquid. Gotcha.
This isn't really a good time for a chat about science.
But I was wondering the same thing.
Wondering what?
Wondering why carbon dioxide doesn't turn into a liquid unless it's under pressure.
Right? It just seems weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? H2O and CO2 are pretty similar.
No, they're not. They're totally different substances. Look, guys, if we keep this up, we're just gonna freeze to death. You good with that? You wanna die talking about sublimation and gases? Cause I sure as hell don't.
It's not a bad way to go. I could think of worse situations to die in. He fixed both of them with a glare.
Now let's get back to work. Assuming you don't want to end up like a pair of ice sculptures.
Junpei turned around. The problem dealt with. Once again, hidden messages, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, but Jumpy,
Or so he thought.
there's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
What the hell?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees? You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. I mean, since they're not going to give it up, I'm just going to roll with this. Now that was difficult to ignore. Junpei had to ask.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
I heard it's called Ice 9.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author.
Here we go.
But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Having this conversation, freezing to death. It's a good idea.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed.
It's kind of feeling a bit like that psychic force.
And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
Junpei. How do I react? I mean, I'm impressed. I'm also, can I be both of these things? I'm gonna go with impressed. was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9?
To his surprise, it was Santa and not June who answered.
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man.
It'd be the end of the world.
Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern.
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
He was right. Junpei shivered.
Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold.
Also, you don't have a beard, and you're not very jovial or plump. In fact, aside from the white hair, you're not really like Santa at all.
So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him.
Selfish, isn't he?
Still, Santa was right. It was high time they got back to their search. And we will continue the search on the next episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is Luckless Lovelocks signing out for now, and I love you all.